Hey, what's up, guys? Today is day 19 of 365 Days of Courage. If you have not been following along, we read a passage from this book every day, and we read a passage from this book every day. Yes, it's from 2022, but it's still relevant. And occasionally, I'll put in a couple stanzas from the Have 'Em All. Let's get started. Remember, I speak over my heartbroken soul. Take courage. Remember when you used to be right out front, leading the procession of praise when the great crowd of worshipers gathered to go into the presence of the Lord? You shouted with joy as the sound of passionate celebration filled the air, and the joyous multitude of lovers honored the festival of the Lord. Psalms 42 and 4. Sometimes what we need in order to garner courage is to remind ourselves of what we've already walked through, what joys have been ours, what challenges have we already faced and come through to times of triumph and celebration. Don't just remember the hard times, but also remember the good. Take courage as you recall the passion you felt in the presence of the Lord. Remember how He spoke to you, the deep joy of being fully known and accepted in His love. Remember the relief you found in the company of others. And as you remember, dare your soul to hope. You are not finished yet, and there is more goodness to discover in the land of the living. Your act of courage for January 19th is time to think back to a time when you were filled with joy, peace, and overflowing awe. When do you remember these special times? Speak courage over your soul. Can you remember a time when you were filled with joy, peace, and overflowing awe? Most of us probably can't remember a time like that. Your daily wisdom for today. God's favor even in times of suffering. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him steadfast love and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever was done there, he was the one who did it. Genesis 39 and 21 through 22. The worst possible losses and suffering hit Joseph. Even when life seemed to be working out as well as it could under the circumstances, he soon found himself the victim of yet another major injustice. Locked away in prison, Joseph remained faithful to the Lord and served well among his fellow inmates. Even though he'd been slandered and mistreated, he continued to be honorable and just. He carried out his responsibilities with skill and dedication, even if he couldn't see how things would work out in the future. Your circumstances don't tell the whole story of God's presence and faithfulness. Even a time of affliction and injustice can become an opportunity for God to work in your favor. Your faithfulness today will go a long way toward preparing you for the future, where circumstances may change and God's power will be on full display. Lord, I trust that even in times of suffering and loss, I can rely on your favor and deliverance. How have you guys been today? It's been cold in West Virginia. I took the day off today, and my brother-in-law helped me, he basically did most of the work. We swapped out a wheel bearing and a universal joint on the driver's side of my truck, and we figured out that the wheel bearing on the passenger side of my truck also is going to need replaced. So I ordered another wheel bearing. I already had a universal joint, and I also ordered ball joints so we can do all that stuff to my truck. And I even ordered me some new mirrors. One of my mirrors is busted, and I'm going to put up something new. Something with turn signals and some lights. Something a little fancy for old Clifford. So how has your day been? Drop me down a comment and let me know. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.